So, as you swing at the left door, go ahead and make me an attack roll with
Can
your
I
axe.
recklessly attack?
You can recklessly attack, yes.
All right. Slash roll 1d20 plus 4 ADV. Nope, that doesn't work. You know what, I'll just use the different bot. That is a 10 somehow.
10. As you go to hit against the door, your foot slips on the stone as you didn't notice some of the moss on it. And as you go to swing, you scratch against the stone flooring and it sends sparks up.
Watch it.
In fact,
Ow,
as you're in your swing, you actually throw it behind yourself almost. Like, you keep hold of it, but it goes behind you in this large arc, and the goblin has to dodge out of the way.
Well, apologies, but it turns out that this abandoned house has a lot of moss which makes the floor slippery. And in case you didn't notice, I don't have feet. I have hooves! As I point to my hooves.
You have
Oh,
five hooves
boo.
because you're missing one, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, no, you have one
oh,
made of metal, that's right.
yeah, I have a prosthetic.
Yeah.
Regardless, I'm going to sort of like sweep the moss to the side with one of my legs. And then take the stance again and swing it at the right door this time.
The right door? Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Once again, recklessly attacking.
Okay.
Because it's funny. Oh wait, it's a +6, not a +4. Dirty 20.
Okay, that hits. So as you hit the door and break into it, go ahead and roll damage.
+4. 12 damage.
Okay.
Not bad.
Give me a second.
Alright, how much do I take in thorns?
So, the door itself seems to be some sort of siege-like door for the manor itself. And as you hit it, 12 damage, you said?
12 damage total.
Alright. The 12 damage nearly shatters halfway through the door, and you feel something squishy on the inside of it. And as you take your axe, as you try to take your axe out, it's stuck.
That's not
As
good.
you see a few of these, all of the studs upon the door start to open up into these orange orbs as the mimic pseudopods you.
Of course.
Naldonir doesn't... Actually, this would be a surprise technically. That's a little bit better. Does a 10 hit you?
No.
So, as this large tongue, it seems like this, it seems like the door itself, with a crack in it, it splits open sideways. This large tongue, these two tongues, split at you. One of them goes for the goblin, too. Goblin, does a 23 hit you, Goblin?
No. Yeah,
So,
it's...
this tongue goes sending out as it splits in two and it reaches out. The centaur manages to dodge away. Your axe is stuck in the mimic, so you have to let go of it if you don't want to be hit. Actually,
Yeah,
I'll say you just slap it away.
Yeah.
As,
Although, because, funny thing, I guess in order to avoid the mimic's tongue, I would reactively let go of the axe. But
Yeah.
because of what you said, as soon as I let go of the axe, it disappears.
Not yet. As you
Okay.
let go of the axe and the tongue comes at you, stamp it with your metal foot. It gets pulled into the stone, and you look over towards the goblin to give him a little bit of warning. And you see the goblin's already being pulled towards its mouth.
Who needs to be careful now?
Give me 1 second. That's 1d8 plus 3.
One who woke it up.
I'll say, yeah, 1d8 plus 3.
Why do I keep making?
Oh my god, max damage. Goblin, you take 11 points of bludgeoning damage as this tongue suddenly brings you into the large crack of the doorway.
Unconscious.
You're unconscious? Oh
Yes.
my gosh. You see, as the goblin says this,
no.
the tongue squeezes and you see blood spurt out of his mouth as he's pulled in. At this point, you see as he's being pulled in, and the tongue only split off about, like, at the very edges of it to reach for you two. The tongue suddenly rips into two tongues as it pulls them in.
Well, better go save him.
So
I'm
let's
gonna
see.
pull out my greatsword. I'm gonna pull out the Star's Edge
Give
greatsword.
me a second. I need to pull this out really quickly. I need to put some stats down because its stats are a bit different.
Plus, it is damaged.
Yes. You dealt 12 damage to it, you said?
12 damage.
Okay, so that is going to be... Let's go with... So that would be another... That would be another 2, so that's... Okay, that's its health pool. Okay, good to know. And then minus 12.
Yep.
You get a large, sizable chunk in one of the doorways as it's all of its eyes suddenly focus on you too, as you're holding its tongue. Both of you roll initiative.
I'm going to, in Dwarvish, just say, and fuck you too!
Both of you roll initiative, please.
My unconscious initiative.
Yeah.
12.
Okay.
I have a +2 to initiative.
Hey, the same as the mimic.
I go last.
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 4.
I also have a +2 to initiative.
So, as the mimic lets this growl out, you feel the deck in front of you shake and quiver as moss and vines start to grow out of it. They start to wrap around your legs. Now, Lanier, roll me a dex save.
I have advantage in this because I have
Yeah, you can see it.
advantage on dex saves. So I can see. Yes.
Yeah.
That is a +2 at advantage. Nat 20 for 22.
22. Even holding on, you push your prosthetic into the stone of the floor and let it dislodge so this mimic's tongue can't get off because you're smart enough to do this. As you step away, the vines grow up your prosthetic leg, but they can't seem to push into it. As the mimic's tongue is stuck, it cannot make a pseudopod attack against you at the moment.
Ah, wonderful.
At this point, you step back, and as you do, you flicks your hand, and the axe appears in it. Actually, the axe disappears from the mimic.
Yeah.
I'll say
grabbing
you
the axe
step
again-
back 10 feet from this creature at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
As I step back and essentially summon the axe back to my hand, time for the next one. As
Well,
I'm
it's
going
not
to
your turn
grasp
yet.
it.
It's now the mimic's turn.
Yeah, flavor. I grasp my axe in 2 hands and prepare for my next attack.
Okay. As you step back and do this, the mimic, its eyes stare at you once more. I need you to make me a wisdom save, Naldnir.
God damn it. Wisdom +2. I'm gonna fail this. That's a 10.
10? You are frightened of this mimic as it just stares at you and its body starts to shift and change. You see multiple mouths opening on it. They seem to be speaking in different languages. The wall around it and the porch starts to open up with eyes and mouths as well as more vines and vegetation starts to grow out of it. The lion heads behind you on the stone platforms going up seem to shift and start to turn around towards you and you hear small echoing speaking coming from them.
Oh, in the name of the leafed ones, why?
Alright, end of the mimic's turn. Make me a death save, Mr. Swallowed Man.
Okay. Oh wait.
I
3.
feel really sorry for you because it just instantly downed you.
What'd you roll?
3.
You start to bleed even heavier and they're unaware of what's going on. I'll say, because at this point, technically before the death save, I'll say this, you can make a medicine check on yourself really quickly, like as you're going in and you're starting to lose consciousness. I'll give you that, because it is a mimic. It is a higher CR than you guys.
Of course it is.
So,
Plus
Well,
it's a house.
so make me
The
a
medicine.
check really quick, and I'll let you make it with intelligence.
Hang on, is this a warehouse?
Then if it's with intelligence, let's see, it would go by. It would be a 27.
27? Okay, go ahead and make the death save again, but this time with advantage. Because you are a doctor, and you would, as you're getting crushed, you would know what to do.
Is this the warehouse?
Okay.
What warehouse?
You know, instead of being turned into a werewolf when the full moon is, a person just turns into a house.
So with advantage, I got a 4.
4? Wait,
Yeah.
did you roll it twice?
Oh!
Yeah.
How?
Alright, so as you do this, you do fall unconscious. I'll say you do manage to get whatever's in there, so I'll give you advantage on all your death saves from now on. But you still are fucking dying. So as you're
You won't
dying
be-
and acid's hitting you and starting to melt your body a little bit in its mouth, you hear Naldinir say something just at the very precipice as the mouth starts to close a bit. Alright, Naldinir. The Mimic at the end of this turn is going to attempt to, it's going to use its only legendary action that it has, which it can use to make any of its attacks, to try and free its tongue from the prosthetic fucking leg pushing through it. I'll say this, DC for this will be 18, because it is a prosthetic leg made of metal pushing it into a stone building.
Yeah.
So it's going to have to make an athletics check here, which it is horrible at. It only has a +3.
Laughs in having a +6 in athletics.
Oh my god, it missed it by 1, so it tries to lift. You see it. I'm going to say it does manage to free its tongue, but it is very injured because of that. It's going to take 3d6 bludgeoning damage.
The tongue slaps it in the face as it frees it, taking
Actually,
the
no, it would
damage.
be 3d6 piercing damage at this point. So 8 points of piercing damage to the creature. Whew, that's pretty good.
Alright,
Uh,
this brings it back to my turn, right?
yes, your turn.
Actually, wait, I'm frightened of it.
Yes.
Shit. I can't get closer.
Nope.
You could always throw your
Schmuck.
weapon.
Schmuck, you goddamn son of a bitch.
You could always throw your weapon.
I know I could throw my weapon, and it's only a 10-foot way to throw it, but it's gonna be counted as a D4 and an improvised weapon.
No, I don't do that. You're throwing your weapon. You are proficient with your weapon.
Oh yeah, you
The
don't
only
care
thing,
about
the only thing I count as improvised weapons is like if you're throwing a table.
Alright.
Yeah.
In that case, in order to cancel out the disadvantage of attacking my frightened target, I'm going to, first off, rage.
Okay.
Then, as I rage, the lycanthropy that is within me starts to take over as the hair on my head grows longer, the fur on my horse body gets thicker, and my tail seems to lose its hair for whatever reason. It becomes more of like a very flexible long spike as
So,
I choose the tail option.
I want to bring something up to you.
Mhm.
When the mimic frightened you, all of these orange glowing eyes suddenly started to get into your vision. These teeth opened up, and everything started to go dark around you. So like it's like you have the darkness effect mixed with like night vision in Minecraft.
Yep.
Like it's getting that dark around you. You feel the cold hitting you, and you see all these mouths and shit opening. So that's what's frightening you.
All right then. So yeah, first I rage.
Okay.
Then I proceed to, with two hands on my axe, yeet.
All right. Go your axe or your sword.
The axe is the one that's currently in my
Okay,
hand.
you grab
since
it.
I summoned back to me.
Roll me an attack roll, but instead of adding strength, add dex.
That would be, doing the math, a +4 to hit then.
Yep.
And because I'm recklessly attacking, this cancels out the disadvantage of attacking the frightened creature.
It's an easy to hit monster. You just missed it with that first strike. That's what sucks.
That is a 16.
16. It hits it right next to its mouth. Go ahead and roll damage.
1d12 plus strength still?
Yeah. Actually, no. This would be dex.
So dex, okay. 10.
So you deal a lot of fucking damage to it. As it goes flying, as it pulls its tongue back, you actually continue to. The axe goes flying and severs between where the axe was. Well, the foot was like severing it, and it continues to sever down to the base of the tongue as it sticks into the roof of its mouth. Well, to the side of its mouth. As the tongue goes flailing in different directions, as blood spurts out of it. I'm going to say it needs to roll a Constitution save.
Do I also get to make another save against the frightened? Or no, I need to break line of sight for frightened, right?
At this point, it starts to recoil a bit. The door seems to go inwards, bend inwards a bit, as suddenly you see it spits out your goblin friend because it rolled a natural 1 on its con save. The goblin goes rolling up to your feet.
Alright. so the goblin is currently in front of me.
Yes, I will have you make another. I will have you make another save. At the end
All
of your
right.
turn for frighten. At the end of your turn for frighten.
All right. That was bonus action and action.
Well, what was your
I'm
bonus
not
action?
going. Bonus action was to enter rage,
Okay.
but I didn't actually add rage damage because you said it was with Dex.
Well, you can add rage damage for this point. I'll say. Actually, no.
All right, then.
That is the rule, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Also, you can't recklessly attack using your Dex, but I was throwing it.
It's fine. I don't give a shit. Add
Yeah.
add your rage for this time. We'll go over those
All
rules
right.
at a later date.
All right, then that would be an extra 2 damage.
I'll say if it's not a melee weapon, then no. But if it is, it's fine because you're just throwing your weapon. 2 extra damage. Okay, I'll put that on.
It's just 2 damage. It's not like it's gonna kill it.
You hear more
Yes,
whispers.
and screw whatever thing burst you in the first place.
You hear something in Dwarven. That's all you hear in Dwarven.
Say that to whatever foul thing gave birth to you in the afterlife.
Anyways.
Why am I speaking Scottish now? This character's not Scottish.
End of your turn. It is now the layer actions once again. The mouths on the ground seem to open up and start to say, "Fire, kill, destroy," in common as they start to chitter. And the heads of the lions finish moving. As these large... As the eyes of the lions start to glow this bright orange, same as the mimic. And they all shoot firebolts. 3 at the unconscious goblin, 3 at you. They have disadvantage against the goblin.
Because range.
Actually, no, this will just be a dex save, I'll say.
Alright.
And the goblin automatically fails, so the goblin takes a failed death save.
Because it's a dex save,
Actually,
I get advantage.
You know what? No,
Isn't it-
this will be all against you. Now, Nier, because you're the one standing. You're
Yep.
the only target it has, really.
And because you said it's a dex save, I get advantage on this.
Yep.
Well, that's another nat 20.
You manage to dodge out of all of these, and as one's about to hit your face, you pull up your axe and just knock it out of the way. They burst against the wall, but disperse instantly.
Perhaps you should be using this fire to cook yourself.
Which you think means fuck you.
Yes. Back to you as well. Do I get to make that save now?
Yeah, you get to make it. It was at the end of your turn.
Yep. +2? Because whiz? That's another 10.
10? Doesn't make it.
Of course it doesn't.
You look back at this creature's, like, many different faces are starting to grow on it. Mimic's
Oh, the
turn.
first one wasn't pretty enough, was it?
Mimic's turn. Its now severed tongue starts to regenerate together. Well, it starts to wrap around itself, and it forms one more tongue again as it reaches out to try and pseudopod attack you.
Mm-hmm. It has advantage on this.
Yep, you're right. It's rolled the same thing, 14.
That is my AC.
So it
therefore
does hit you and pulls. Actually, no, it can't. Because pseudopod attack is 5 feet. 5 feet.
Yeah, I'm 10 feet away from it.
Yep. It starts to. You see the door shift closer to you by 5 feet.
Mm-hmm.
It detaches from the actual door behind it. Actually, no. The wall seems to pull with not pull like the wall doesn't come closer, but it seems to almost be attached to this wall, and you see it grow further out 5 feet. And it's going to use its pseudopod attack now, and I'm going to re-roll those attacks. Oh, okay. Natural 20. So, I'll just use the first set of attacks it made, because it would have moved first. Sorry. So, as it hits you, +3, you suffer 5 reduced to 2, reduced to 2 points of bludgeoning damage.
Mm-hmm.
And, you are not subjected to his adhesive trait. You are fine. As it hits you and tries to grapple around you, you manage to shoot, axe off a part of its skin, its tongue. Technically, it wouldn't have to move because this is a larger creature, technically, for its pseudopod attack. So I'll just say it didn't I'll just say it moved towards you for this turn, but it doesn't
The
have to.
door sort of expands outwards to expel the tongue with more momentum to
I'm gonna
reach
say
me.
no. I'm gonna say no. It didn't move towards you because it is the door technically. So no, it just reached out and its tongue is larger, as it hits
Yep.
you. It
Mm.
seems to bludgeon you, and its tongue is standing there in its space. At this point, Goblin, make me a death save with advantage. Remember.
For anyone who
5.
decides to watch this, it's
That's 2
because this
fails.
character is at level 2. He doesn't want to instantly kill the new person.
That's 2 fails, Goblin.
How do you fail with advantage?
He rolled a 5 again somehow.
How?
You're
I
rolling.
rolled a 1 and a 5 that time.
Did you dump con or something?
You don't add con to your modifier.
No.
Oh yeah, for death saves you don't add con.
So,
Oop.
as you're bleeding heavily, spitting out fucking blood even more, now to near you see this. Mimic uses its layer actions to make another attack at you, now near.
Yeah.
And it does have, technically, it's on its turn, it has advantage against you, right?
On its turn.
Okay, so a 10 does not hit you. As it reaches out again, its tongue bounces to try and hit you from behind. You just pull out your axe to slash it again. Now, Denier, it's your turn. The goblin's starting to go. It's starting to look worse for wear. The mimic is starting to attack you from further range. What are you doing?
Whilst I probably should be using medicine to stabilize the goblin, I'm not very good with medicine, and I would probably end up killing the goblin in the process.
I will say the tongue is within 5 feet of you.
Can I attempt to sever a piece of the tongue so that I can use it as like a band-aid?
The acidic tongue of the mimic? Yeah, sure.
Never mind then.
Well,
Since you said
it's
acidic.
not acidic. It would be covered in a little bit of like mouth acid or spittle, but it's not acidic by nature.
Now that I think about it, that's a terrible thing to ask. Why did I think about that? Regardless, seeing as I would probably kill the goblin if I attempted to make a medicine check, I am going to refrain from doing such a thing because I'd rather not have another player's blood on my hands. I am going to turn towards the tongue, recklessly attack with rage and just fury and whatnot, and chop.
Okay, go ahead.
Plus 6, because this is a melee attack with strength, and not an advantage because frightened. 22.
That hits the tongue. AC was 12.
Yep. 1d12 plus 4 plus another 2 because rage. It takes 14 slashing damage.
The tongue is cut in half as blood sprays out. You said 14?
14.
I'm going to increase that because this is a fucking tongue you're severing in half.
Yes.
So it takes 28. Its blood spews everywhere. Okay, it doesn't hit the goblin good. As the blood hits, a little bit of it burns into your skin. Nothing really to damage you.
You're going to have to try harder than that.
As the tip of the tongue hits the ground, it starts to flop around like a fish on land.
I guess I'll just stand on top of it with my prosthetic, just
Your
stamp it
prosthetic
out.
is no longer on your body, remember?
Oh yeah, it detached.
As you stand there, the tongue starts to grow an eye and a small mouth on it.
I would like to stamp on it with my remaining leg.
Okay, easy enough. You just
Yeah.
it.
With, I guess, my remaining front leg.
Alright. Anything else on your turn?
That is attack action. I don't think there's much I can do with my bonus action. So, no,
you
I
have
think
your
that'll
tail
keep.
out.
I know I have my tail out, but that's a different thing.
Okay.
If I want to attack with the tail, which is a 10-foot reach weapon, and does a d8 of piercing, that requires me to attack with it on my action.
Make me a wisdom save.
For the frightened condition, yes.
Mhm.
That's even worse.
Make me another wisdom save.
That's very marginally better.
What'd you roll?
11.
Alright, that's enough. You're still frightened.
Alright. I'm still frightened. Good to know.
End of your turn. You're still frightened of this creature.
Mm-hmm.
Comes to the layer actions. The floor starts to enrapture and pull the goblin onto the ground with the vines. End of the layer actions. Goblin. Another death save with advantage, please.
Right.
I swear to God,
Please.
if you roll a 6 this time.
That would be just impressively
Do you want me to send you a screenshot of the 2 and the 6 I just rolled?
Bro,
what the fuck?
what is with your rolls?
No. Oh,
I'll give you
no.
another check. Just roll again.
Okay, at advantage?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Okay, 14.
14. That's a success.
I was about to say, if you roll a 7...
That's your one reroll, just to let you know.
Okay.
Okay. So, as you start to get a little bit better, blood starts spurting out a bit. Stops, anyways, I should say. Actually, technically it would have been the Mimic's turn, but I gave you your turn first. So, technically, that reroll would just be on your turn. I don't give a shit. The Mimic is going to make a strike at you, Naldinir, with its tongue's gone, actually.
Alright.
It seems to... Its tongue starts to regrow a little bit out of its mouth. The half of it starts to split, and then it seems to twirl against itself, and it regrows its tongue and makes a slash at you.
Alright.
It has advantage.
Yes.
Does a 24 hit you?
Regardless of what I do, that is a yes.
Okay. You suffer 8 reduced to 4 points of bludgeoning damage. It slaps you in the side once again. And this time it's actually going to pull you 5 feet closer. So now you're standing between it and the goblin.
Good to know. Roughly where in the room would my prosthetic be?
Right under your foot at the moment.
Can I reattach it as a free action?
Easy enough. You get pulled up and you're like, oh, you put your hand down and just push it back into its socket easily.
Alright. 4 legs have been reacquired.
At this point, everything goes dark around you. All you can see is like the stone within a foot of yourself. The glowing eyes in the distance on the stone, everything else. You can see the large gaping hole that seems to have this ambient glow coming from it. You can see the teeth that seem to be chomping, ready to pull you in. Your turn.
It is within 5 feet of...
Technically, it would take its legendary action. It's going to make a bite attack against you. 18, that hits.
I am going to use my reaction to roll a d8 because I have my tail out.
Okay, go ahead.
My AC is now a 19.
Alright, so, as it hits you with its tongue from behind and sends you flying 10 feet forward, ready to chomp you as you're getting pulled closer and your vision's getting darker. Its mouth and teeth start to close behind you, and your sharp tail sticks into the side of its mouth as it recoils and stops bringing its mouth together as you push yourself out. It is now your turn.
I am within 5 feet of it.
Mm-hmm.
I have my axe in hand.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to recklessly attack.
Sure thing.
Malicious compliance to do with axe is going to ensue.
Go ahead. Are you attacking the inside of its mouth or just its body?
I guess the inside of its mouth would be potentially a more lethal place to hit it, so I will attempt to hit there.
Okay. You look inside its mouth, and you can see the edges of its mouth go in maybe a foot, and then beyond that, it just seems to be this like portal, this shine, almost like an interdimensional portal is in its mouth or something. You don't know.
I rolled a 23.
23. All right. So you do hit. Go ahead and roll a critical strike. So that means everything, all your total damage, including your rage and your modifiers, are doubled.
So just roll a normal attack and then double the damage?
Yes.
Alright. Good to know for anyone that decides to watch this shit show of an attack. +4, plus another 2.
I'll try my best.
36 maximum damage!
So you see this large tongue coming out of this, seemingly coming out of this ethereal portal, this shining portal that seems to have multiple tongues starting to come out of it, out of nowhere, and you just cut all of them from the base of this portal, and this blood spurts against you out of its mouth. You do take 1 point of acid damage.
All right.
As it suffers 36 damage.
Yeah, 18 doubled because I rolled maximum damage.
This ear-piercing screech hits you, and you have to cover your ears for a second. I'm gonna roll a D100 really quick.
Holy shit.
Your axe. I need you to roll me a dexterity save to hold your axe, as you have to bring it up as you're holding it, and then suddenly this ear-piercing sound hits you.
All right. Does this count as a dex save that I get advantage on?
Yes. Actually, no, because you can't see the piercing sound.
Oh yeah, you can't see sound. 21.
21? You manage to hold onto your axe. You nearly drop it. You hold it, and you see the axe head go in. And you're like, you're pulling, and you feel this force. You pull through, and you hold your ears shut. You get the feeling if your axe had dropped in there, you wouldn't be able to see it again. So, as you're literally like half your body is stepping in to hit these tongues. Does that end your turn?
That will end my turn, yes.
End of this turn. Go ahead.
I did so much damage.
End of your turn. Layer action. You see the vines are slowly creeping up and encapsulating the goblin. Make me a wisdom save, actually.
1d20 plus 2. That's a 6.
Okay. Still afraid of it.
Yep.
This portal in the background, almost like the floodlights from the It movie, where he's like, "Come on, you want to go?" And he's like, gets the rock and he's about to throw it. It's frightening you. As it's the mimic's turn. The slow tendrils come floating out of its mouth again. However, it comes floating out of the portal. It seems to be trying to regrow the mouth as you had to step in and you're pulling back out. The teeth start to try and close on you. How long does that extra AC last?
It doesn't actually say.
Okay. Okay, and then it has advantage. It goes to close once again, and this time you pull your hands out and using your tail, stick it into one of the sides and try to push it so it doesn't close on you. I will say you suffer 1 point of slashing damage as you're trying to hold its teeth from bearing down onto you.
1 point of slashing reduced to half a point, rounded down to 0?
Nope, just 1.
I know.
Its teeth are pushing into your skin on one of the sides. Doesn't do any damage to you besides that. And you're just looking in, frightened of what's inside this mimic. End of its turn. Goblin, make me a death save with advantage.
Alright.
Yeah, it doesn't actually say how long the AC bonus lasts, and
12?
therefore,
You succeed.
according to the rules, it probably stacks. It just says that you roll the die and then add it to your AC.
I'll say it lasts until you use it again. Is it a reaction thing?
It is a reaction.
I'll say it lasts for that reaction, or that until the start of your next turn, technically.
All right.
You could use it over. You could use it over and over again.
Yeah, you can use it as long as your rage is up.
Yeah, you have to use it as a reaction.
All right. Should I roll it again then?
It wouldn't have hit your AC.
Okay.
So, as it's trying to close and everything's happening, the goblin's seemingly getting better, breathing a bit better. What are you doing now, Daenerys? You're holding this thing open. Your tail's holding one side. You have your axe dropped down, disappeared at the moment. You have one hand open. What are you doing?
One hand open.
Yeah.
I grab my Star's Edge greatsword.
As you pull off this beautiful blackened blade, it seems to have this blackish purple hue into it. Nearly black, but still a little bit of purplish blue to it. And it seems to have these star-like patterns in it, glowing, twinkling, making patterns in space. You pull out your greatsword with one hand. What are you doing?
I attempt to grab with two hands and then swing.
Alright, so you lift one of your hooves up to stop the mouth. You take another point of piercing damage. As you swing into the mouth, go ahead.
+6. Also reckless.
Yep.
12.
12. That hits just above the AC of 11. Roll damage. And it's at critical, remember.
Yep. 2d6 plus 4 plus 2. That is an at sign, not a 2. 26.
26. As you slash across its innards, how do you want to kill this thing? Mind you, it had 100 HP in total.
So I just 100 to 0 this thing.
Mm-hmm. As its body is pushing against your hoof, dealing slashing damage, it's pushing deeper, and it's starting to close its mouth, trying to fucking chomp you. As this blinding light is in your face, and you are terrified of this creature. You slash out with one hand, I'll say, as your greatsword slashes out. You bring your second hand to hold its mouth even farther. Slash into it. How do you slash it?
As I
Describe the
slash
kill.
downwards with this great sword in hand, it seems to almost fade and then brighten up as if the dawn is arising upon the blade. It cuts through as if it were a 1,000-degree knife through very warm butter, as it seems to not cut it in the natural sense and that blood comes out, but it seems to simply part it as Moses did the Red Sea. As I guess the entire room, which is this mimic, seems to almost burn away
So
in the searing light of dawn.
So, as you cut through, feeling it cut like butter, down one of the spaces of its mouth, carving through it, your strength fails you and it pulls you in as you're stuck within this dark space, only that single ambient light giving you even anything that you can see in here. As you start to cut through the mimic, as the acid starts to hit your body, no damage, the stars start to twinkle on the blade. And the dark spots, the light gives out in the mimic, as within this dark space, the same constellations start to form. As you pull through, cutting, searing, acid hitting you, causing your rage to continue. The entire mimic explodes outwards as its body lays limp on the floor, and you see the actual door behind it. The same design of the door, but now freed from the mimic. As mimic's bile hits the ground around you, the opened mouths and eyes on the floor disappear as if they were illusionary. The heads of the lions seem to turn back around. At this point, you are no longer in combat. Goblin, you succeed your last save, as there is no danger to you. As you come back to with 1 HP on the ground, covered in these vines that slowly start to wither as you throw them off of you. You notice, standing in front of you, injured and harried, this centaur, who seems to be covered in this acidic burns, holding this beautiful greatsword that seems to be sheened with this blackened metal that has these stars bursting on it, almost like supernovas causing these constellations. The air around you is completely dark for the moment, as you see space, constellations, and only a floor beneath you, flaring up. And then suddenly, all this darkness gets pulled into the sword once more, as you now see the dead mimic laying on the floor, the door behind it, which is heavily broken in places.
Oh, look, we did it.
Nalzanir, still enraged for the next few moments, is going to turn to face you with her head. Her red eyes are now almost glowing in rage.
You got a problem? He says it in a different voice than normal.
No. As the rage subsides, the tail goes back to its former horse-like appearance, as the hair that had grown out to almost be that of a Shetland horse goes back to what it normally was. Simple, short, red hair with long human hair on the head. That was exhilarating.
Yeah, I bet it was.
You wouldn't know. You were asleep.
So
As I sheathe my weapons.
as the goblin starts to stand up, throwing more vines off him, like, this is a crazy amount of vines and moss that grew onto you, goblin. You throw it off, pull out the small syringe that you stuck in yourself when you went unconscious, and, like, take the needle and throw it out, and take the syringe and put it back away in one of your clean pouches, well, one of your dirty pouches. You look up towards the door, which is now, you can see it's partially broken inwards from axe strikes. Not the ones that you guys made. Multiple strikes that are old and rotting. This door, beautiful from what the mimic copied of it, is now broken in places and seems to be bent inwards a bit, as if it had been broken in from a siege or something. You can see the bar on the edge that was meant to keep the door locked, as well as the many other locks, broken and shackled. The door, as you simply touch it, falls off its hinges inside, landing with a thud, as dust sprays upwards. The lit interior of the room, a few single candles that are dying out. Well, actually no, it wouldn't be lit. The candles haven't died out from the chandelier on the inside.
It looks like it really is abandoned.
Oh, well, I had assumed so.
Are you sure you should be walking? I mean, you nearly died.
Who's the doctor here?
Fair enough. As
I
I'm
thought,
going
I
to
thought you were
walk
about to
into-
say that all the bleeding was internal, so it's fine.
All the bleeding is eternal. That's where the blood's supposed to be.
Because technically it did crush you from the inside. Because it crushed your outside, pushing everything in.
There's not really anything I can do to treat it right now, so.
Anyways, I walk into the room, take a gander at whatever contents lay within.
As you enter this large, octagonal kind of manor room, it's thoroughfare. You see this large rug beneath you that seems to coat its mahogany floors. You see a chandelier hanging from the roof, maybe 20 feet down. It's above you. It's about 80 feet. You see these large, spiraling staircases that lead up to a second floor above you, where the chandelier actually hangs down, nearing. It seems to be 50 feet. You see a balcony above you. You can't see anything above. You see these two large not stone, but metal statues, which you can't determine because it is dark in here. And your dark vision doesn't give you colors. That seem to stand of
I don't have
knights.
dark vision.
Oh yeah, you don't see any of this. Goblin,
centaur.
you see all of this, and you see these statues of our knights that are very damaged in places. One of their arms is nearly falling off. The stairs themselves are cut off about halfway and seem to have fallen to the ground. They're metal staircases with wooden planks on them. You probably couldn't get up there unless you were to do something like with a grappling or a rope or try to grapple up there. There are two doorways that lead to large halls that encompass the rest of the... There are two doorways that lead off to the sides, right and left, and there is this large doorway that leads forward. There's also the upstairs, which you can't tell, but you think there might be doorways up there. There is also a single, I will say actually no, that's all you see at this point. There are multiple armor stands that seem to have armored, there are multiple armor stands around that seem to have plate mail armor that seems to be broken in places. It reminds you almost of that area you were in before you went to the back rooms. It is dark as hell in here.
You wouldn't happen to have a light on, would you?
You see splotches of liquid across the floor that isn't on the rug. Well, actually, there are some on the rug, too.
Here. And he lights his hooded lantern.
You start to
And
notice the rug is this beautiful gold and red embroidered color. The floor itself is the rug itself is covered in blood or dried blood. The mahogany ground. You notice the staircase is cast iron that goes upwards.
He'll hand the lantern to Naldinir.
Okay. Everything
Now
is
that you-
You
Everything-
can lift the hood if you need to see further.
everything is covered in this fine layer of dust.
Naldinir is going to raise the lantern up to get a better view of, I guess, the room, and I guess, sort of rub some of the dust off some of the furniture.
Okay. There are a
Seems.
few pieces of furniture here, like a few small love cushions on the sides of the room.
Mm-hmm. It seems that whatever happened here was quite some time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't really know how long, but
Now, Daenerys,
yeah,
it's funny.
someone
You don't
might.
even need to make the check. A lot of this, design is elven, specifically Sylvan. How the staircase's edges, now that you're seeing them, like the ones that fell down to the ground, how they end, their end caps kind of thing, they end in this twirling Sylvan design. The small paintings on the wall are of individuals from the Feywild. You can't tell who they are. There seems to be some important figures. However, you do see the human family as well in it. You see what seems to be this hanging portrait of the human that you saw outside, a woman that seems to be the matriarch of the family as well, or his wife, whatever it is. And then you see a daughter, as well as multiple different household entities that's butlers, maids that aid them. You see a few other
Although,
paintings of satires, or whatever they're fucking called. You see, funny enough, some centaurs, and you see one at the edge of a castle where he stands next to a few Dolahans.
hmm. Although it seems that the man outside was indeed the lord of this place, and perhaps he commissioned those of the Feywild to construct it for him. Perhaps it was the Eladrin that did this.
The Eladrin, specifically, you would know in this lore, are somewhat protectors of different realms, such as the four seasonal or even the Feywild from specific threats of Fey nature or other nature from coming into the realm. They are Eladrin, specifically. Some Eladrin did partake, just in brief history, you would know, in the ancient war between the corrupted Fey and the Fey.
I don't think I need to mention this.
Yeah.
Regardless, there is another floor, but how am I gonna get up there?
You can roll me an
Staircase.
investigation check.
I will indeed roll that investigation check, which is a +1.
Goblin, would you like to roll an investigation check of this room as well?
Sure. I would.
I failed.
9.
9.
Yeah.
I couldn't have rolled much better. I rolled a 4.
So, Goblin, you're the one who noticed that after you guys are going through, the rug is bunched up a bunch. So, like, it's crunching up in some parts of it. As if someone moved it and then put it back without, like, fully placing it. Or maybe there was a scuffle here. You don't know.
He'll just, without warning, just grab the edge of the rug and throw it to the side.
The rug is, like, about 80 feet in length. It's square.
Well, then he'll just start, like, yanking on it and pulling it all to him.
Make me a strength check.
Okay. 13.
13. Easily enough, you pull the octagonal rug, and what you see is this large trap door. Metal in design. Very, very, unlike the rest of this house, very clean and unweathered.
Looks like someone's used this recently.
Or perhaps it's simply clean because it was underneath the carpet.
Is the rug dusty?
The rug is dusty, and the rest of the floor underneath is broken or covered in blood. You can see blood trails leading down over towards the clean trapdoor.
Well, the other parts of the rug seem to have another type of dirt under them.
Now Denier is just going to be slightly confused as to how the dirt could get under the rug in the first place. Regardless, she's going to go over to the trapdoor, and is it locked?
It is.
I guess she sort of pulls on the handle, if there is one, realized it's locked, and mentioned this to the goblin. It seems
Wait.
that if there is someone down there, they don't want anyone else with them.
Well, don't hit this one.
But it worked so well last time.
Maybe for you.
Regardless, ow. As now the near is now starting to feel the pain of all the acid and bludgeoning that came to her. That hurts.
Just let me try this one.
Okay, so what are you gonna do?
Use tools.
You have to use tools?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and
I'm a
make
rogue.
a sleight of hand check.
Wouldn't I just make the check with the tools?
Is there a tool check?
If you want to pick a lock,
I mean,
you
it'd be the-
can make it with sleight of hand with proficiency. But since it's a tool, I believe you do get advantage on the check because the tool is relevant to the job.
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's just a sleight of hand check if you're proficient with it. Isn't it? I mean, if there's a tool check in whatever you're using, that's fine. You could do that, yeah.
There is.
Okay, do that, yeah.
Because it says like you can have expertise with thieves tools specifically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll that then.
I mean, artificers can have expertise in any tool, but that's just artificers.
15? Alright. Yeah. Within seconds, you unlock it. It's not that hard of a lock. In fact, it would only be like a DC of 8. Actually, no, this one specifically, this lock, no, it is a DC 15. So you can do. So whoever's watching this, sorry about that. I had to go get food, so we're gonna take like a 10-minute break. I just got back on my computer to say that. We'll be back in like 10 minutes, but we're gonna keep recording going. Basically, they just found a trapdoor, unlocked it, and they noticed it was completely dark. Noticed the smell of oil and blood, and the goblin went down. This is some good ass pie.
It's good to hear.
I never knew peach pie was good, so I never tried it. Delicious. Eating ASMR. Oh my gosh. I also have some of that bread from Cane's.
Hmm. I wonder. Schmuck.
Yeah?
I'm reading more about various different artifacts, and I found one called the Crook of Rao, which has an ability called Absolute Banishment.
Mhm.
While you're attuned to it and holding it, you can spend 10 minutes to banish all but the mightiest fiends within a mile of you. And for all the banished fiends, they're sent back to their home plane and can't return to the plane of the Crook of Rao banished it from for a century.
Mhm.
What happens if you go to their home plane and then proceed to banish them using this ability again?
I would say it doesn't work.
I guess that makes the most logical sense. Although it does say absolute banishment.
You know what happens? It sends them to a demi-plane you can't access.
Hmm.
This pie is so fucking good. My dog agrees. I gave him a little piece of it. Where's my phone at? What's in my pocket? Sure, I'm gonna take a picture of you, okay? Where is it? There it is. No, I don't want that one. Hey, Bubba's. Now we just wait for Wahoo to get back. It's only been like 8 minutes, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Nice.
Oh no.
What?
It's got another property called Igwilv's Curse, which has a 2% chance to activate when you roll on the extraplanar reversal table.
I don't know what that means.
And it's basically a table that when you use absolute banishment or spend what its last charge, you roll on the table and then something happens. If you get 91 to 100, so it's actually a 10% chance.
Mm-hmm.
When you get this chance to have it happen, and it does happen, it opens a. Well, first off, it explodes in a 50-foot diameter, and then it opens a gate.
Mm-hmm.
And every round on initiative 20, it speaks a fiend's name, which summons it through the gate.
Okay.
And this gate is open for 18 years.
Man. It's almost like there was a Fae / Fiend war in my lore that specifically happened after the death of the general of the black fucking guy. Of the black
Yeah.
Fae.
And once the 18 years is complete, it becomes a permanent portal to Pazunia,
I don't know what that is.
the first layer of the Abyss.
Well, my fucking first layer of the Abyss is not called Pussy Nah.
Pazunia.
Anyways.
Anyways.
If you want to take that item, we could just say at the end of the battle, that's what happens.
Yeah, but no, that would just cause more problems.
Send me a link to that item, please.
Are you gonna give it to the boss?
No.
Are you sure about that?
Roll an insight check.
Let me just roll the insight check. I got a 79.
Damn, you beat my 52. Anyways. So, as you see the sights of a dead body next to you and an armor stand in the distance.
Is it a Minecraft armor stand?
You hear whispers in the darkness and chippering. And the sound of flesh.
Flesh gibbers.
Well, audience members, I am pretty sure we all know exactly what's about to happen here, so let's just skip right to the end.
Hentai.
Anyway,
So-
what else does the goblin see?
You see nothing of this, but you hear it. Goblin.
Okay.
Naldinir, the
Yes.
door under your feet latches closed.
That's not good.
Goblin, the lantern you're holding goes out.
I left that with Naldinir.
Oh, okay. Naldinir,
Mm-hmm.
as you're standing there like, oh, that's not good, you hear shifting as the armor stands start to pull off of their plates, pulling out their great swords and all starting to approach you. Slowly.
I guess I'll just keep my axe in hand.
You look around, ooh, that's not good.
How many armor stands are currently approaching me?
In the room, there was about 20.
Yeah, no, I'm dead.
I mean, do you want to go down?
I guess I'll try going down swinging, because it seems that they're approaching with malicious intent.
So you're not going down the trapdoor?
You said the trapdoor closed.
Closed, yeah.
Also, ladders are a centaur's worst enemy.
Alright, so, as they swarm you, that's the end of you. Yep. Okay. Wahoo! What are you doing?
The hole in the back of the armor, does it look like it was burned through, or like...
It looks like it burst outwards from a force. Or inwards from a force, this would say.
Okay.
There are scorch marks across his hands, though. And you see a torch now on the ground that seems to be unlit. But it seems like it was used.
Probably best not to light that down here. And he keeps descending.
You're already at the bottom.
Ah, I thought that was partway down. Okay.
No, you see the kegs near you. You see the oil on the ground and some blood.
Well. Shit. He starts following the blood.
Huh? You start to follow it on a path, and you start to hear the screeching around you of moving flesh. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
Alright.
Now, did you be a good little rogue and put your expertise in stealth?
I'm not even proficient in stealth. I got a 17, though. I'm a doctor. I'm not a thief.
So, as you keep walking, you hear screeching next to you, and you stop for a second. And in this darkness, you see maybe 2 feet away from you this mound of flesh that seems to be growing eyeballs and mouths out of it, and then disappear, whispering in different languages as fleshy tendrils come out of it, lap onto the ground, and pull it forward.
Is that a gibbering what are they called?
Gibbering mouther, yes.
Rather.
Yeah.
It moves past you, looks around. And continues to move forward, not noticing you.
Okay.
You hear it get to the corpse that was at the ladder. And you hear and the clang of metal hitting the ground.
And he thinks to himself that now he kind of has to keep going away from that thing. So he's going to keep following the blood away from...
As you do, the blood gets into more splotches as you're getting away, because it didn't seem to be like more of a pouring blood. You eventually stop once again as you hear, moving directly in front of you, not seeing you as well, another one of these creatures. This time covered in this black substance that's dried and cracking across their skin, which you get the feeling was oil. And it gets away from you again.
Down the blood trail some more.
Continue to follow it and follow it.
Yellow brick
Eventually,
road.
You get to this small wooden door that has this fogged up glassy quartz-like window. It seems to have this nice handle on it. At this point, Naldinir, as you're being tackled on top of the trap door, it gives out and you fall down. I'm gonna guess you entered a rage before that, right?
Yes.
"17 reduced to 8 points of bludgeoning damage. You hit the ground hard.
Good to know. I am at half health.
Okay. So, as you see this and you see the blood trail, you hear something moving away from you.
I guess I'll follow it.
Okay. Make me a self check.
Nat one.
As soon as you take a single step, you step on the armor on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the shifting stop. It turns around and starts to move towards you. And you start to see the shape of this mound of flesh starting to move towards you. It hasn't noticed you just yet. What do? There's a blood trail leading away. You notice multiple casks around you, oil on the ground, blood, a torch that's was lit before but can still be used.
Do I have anything to light the torch? Do I have something to light this torch?
You got a metal leg and an axe.
There's a stone ground.
I guess I'll try and swing my axe at the ground to throw some sparks on the torch. Either that or I have a tinderbox.
As you hit the ground with your axe, like outside, the embers hits the oil on the ground. An explosion of fire. Roll me a dex save. In cases,
I have advantage on this.
well,
Do I have to do one too?
no,
I am.
Flames hit the oil around you, and they start to light up the entire ground in here. Naldonir.
Mm-hmm.
As well as Wahoo. Yeah, go ahead, Wahoo.
Okay.
I rolled a dirty 20 on that dex save.
Okay, that's half damage then.
I rolled a 6.
Okay, so Wahoo, you take 10 points of fire damage. Soup, you take 5.
Sorry.
If it's.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay, no, never mind. If it was 11 damage, I would have been dead, but it's 10, so I'm okay.
Actually, it would need to be 12 because it needs to do the damage to knock you out, and then that. So
Yeah.
Well, it only needs to be equal to your
It needs
max
to be
HP.
equal to or greater than your maximum
So-
hit
so it
points
only
in the
need to be
negative.
11.
yeah, and how much HP do you have as your max
10.
HP? 10? Okay, yeah, that's fine.
How do you have 10 max HP?
Because I rolled a nat 1 on my health roll.
No, as I've stated, you don't roll for health. You take
okay.
max.
Yeah, for Schmuck, you take max hit points. So you would have 16.
So you'd be down 11 from your original, which means you would have been at 5 during that battle. But we're just gonna say you went unconscious because that's funny. We'll put you at 5 minus 10, so you're at negative 5, so you're still unconscious.
Okay. Well, I would have a max HP of 20, but.
Alright, 20 it is.
20, you said?
Yeah,
I'll
because
say
con
you're
is 14.
we'll put you at 1 health here then.
Okay.
As you're burning as this oil starts to light on fire and you step out of it after being burnt. Not near you get hit for 5, as I stated. The creatures around, now this entire basement visible. You could see 15 of these creatures moving around this large basement. And they all start to screech out as they take fire damage. You notice the fire is spreading towards one of the casks. And you see at the very edge of your distance the goblin.
I sprint towards the goblin.
Alright. Roll. So that's going to be 3. I'm going to say that's 2 turns of sprinting towards it because of your movement speed.
Yeah, because I have a 40-foot speed,
So-
dashing makes that 80.
As soon as you start to sprint, I need you to make me a dex save as the cask right next to you explodes. It's filled with alcohol.
Mm-hmm. Somehow that was only a 10.
Hey, full damage.
Mm-hmm.
This will be bludgeoning damage, so I will say that you are raging still.
Alright.
suffer 20 points of bludgeoning damage.
Reduced to 10.
Reduced to 10. How much health are you at?
6.
You get sent flying forward, hands over hooves. I mean, head over hooves, like your axe when you do it, and you actually hit the door right next to the wall. Sorry, and fall down to the ground.
Ouch!
Yeah, all the casks behind you, as flames now enroach the entire area. The pillars of wood are now starting to crackle and burn and fall as parts of the roof are collapsing inwards. Actually, no, it would be bending at the moment, starting to collapse.
Door!
Why did you light that?
Another one breaks.
No choice.
Another one. The casks next to you start to light up too. They are engulfed in flames, but have not exploded just yet.
I hit the door, right? Does the door open?
You hit the wall next to it.
Alright, I attempt to stand up and try and open the door.
Alright. Make me a strength check.
Strength cheek. Actually, can I make this athletics?
Yeah.
21.
Alright. At first you go to push the door and you're like, holy shit, this thing's locked. And then you just pull it and it opens.
It's a pull door that simply says plush.
No, I'll say Wahoo notices it says pull, and you push it and you're like, fuck, and you push it so hard you knock it off its hinges.
Alright,
You actually
I go
break
through
the
door.
wall on part of it.
It wasn't. I don't think it was locked.
I ignore what he says and just go through the now most definitely probably opened door.
As you head through without noticing Wahoo, you notice the door has this same black fog around it, like a Dark Souls boss door.
He has no idea what to think about that. Yeah.
As you enter, you hear from the casks as the metal's heating up to red. You're like, oh, can't think about that. And you head in, and as you do, you hear from behind you. As the door is closed behind you guys as you both enter, you see this large room with a table in the center of it. This small round table. You see at the edge of the table this. You see you see this pink tablecloth over it, a tea set in the middle of it, some stuffed animals, a large chandelier hanging from the top of it, and a few seats at the edge of the room. It's almost like this place was like a large sauna. And as you enter, you hear, "No, Mr. Reginald, the tea doesn't go like that. You're supposed to do it like this." And you see this, let's just say, 12-year-old girl sitting at the table with a few stuffed animals, pouring tea, and then properly fixing them to how they're supposed to be. You see one of them has this monocle on with a top hat. It's a blue teddy bear. The room is lit pretty well. You see another one's a giraffe. And you see this little girl who's wearing this nice white, I don't know if it's a blouse or what it's called, but it's a nice puffy kind of shirt with the wrist collars that seem to fluff out. And she seems to be wearing it. It's buttoned up, and she goes, "No. More friends for tea?"
She sees the centaur is clearly bruised, cut, slashed, burnt. Just everything is just, not good.
Well, the goblin under his jacket doesn't have a shirt on, so he's probably really fucking bruised because he's probably got broken ribs from being crushed.
"We have more tea, friends. Sir Reginald, get the tea, get the tea."
And he's also burned.
And you see the teddy bear stands up and starts to walk towards one of the corners of the room. However, you both notice it's not doing this as an animated object. You see out of the ground these tendrils of flesh and sinew that are seemingly dripping blood off of them, hitting the ground as it goes along, are seemingly going into the teddy bear's legs, and you can see it wriggling around in the back as it starts to move forward.
Don't have the blood in me to deal with this.
Friends, come sit down for tea.
Just looking at the weird tendril things that are propping the teddy bear up, I have my axe in hand just in case shit hits the fan.
When you're at the
I-
tea party, you must be. Go ahead, Rahu. So go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I don't even bother drawing my weapons because if something happens, I'm not. It's not much I'm gonna be able to do.
When you're at a tea party, my daddy taught me this. You're not supposed to have weapons. You're supposed to be nice and formal. And as she flicks one of her hands, you see these same tendrils, large and buffer, fall from the roof and just smack the weapon out of your hand as it goes flying into the wall.
Would it immediately disappear?
No. And as you try to flex your hand, it doesn't disappear.
I guess I don't have a
You
choice.
focus for a second, and it does reappear in your hand. But you have to focus hard.
I will then just open my hand to have it disappear, as I guess fighting her would be a lost cause, seeing as the grand total of hit points between the two of us is 7.
The most damage I can do in an attack is 8.
So,
Or sorry, 10 if I use Fury the Small.
you're not even properly dressed. Doesn't matter. I don't care how you're dressed. Sit down for tea. Friends.
I guess
Well, I might have been. Oh, sorry.
I guess I'll very cautiously walk towards her because this is it's very concerning seeing an eldritch abomination in the shape of a child.
Soup, does this not proc any memories for you?
No, it does definitely proc memories for me, but that was for Zeph, and that was last year. Plus, I don't like Zeph as a character.
Made him because you wanted to play a fun druid. Don't like the character.
Yeah, I didn't like the character because I just didn't vibe with him afterwards.
Well, as you both look at each other nervously and go to sit down at the table, you sit down in these small little, almost kid chairs. Your knees are basically touching your chests at the moment. Actually, Goblin is fine for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably fine.
Yeah. And she goes, "Well, hi. What are you? Who are you? Welcome to my tea party."
Naldanir. As she
Naldanir.
starts wiping the blood off of her face and trying to like pat out any remaining fire that's in her hair.
Naldi.
Good enough.
And you, funny-looking one. Who are you?
Well, my medical license, which is completely and utterly real, by the way, says Biggs Oblivion, but people call me Tiny.
Biggs. Okay. Well, I'd like to introduce you to... and she points towards the giraffe. This is Mr. Tellius. She points over to the, a large stuffed camel that's here. This is Mr. Carmel. And she leans over and puts one hand on the side of her face to block her lips from Carmel and goes, "He's a real stinker." And the camel plushie suddenly reaches up one of its arms, and you hear, obviously she's mimicking the voice. She goes, "Hey, what are you saying about me? You best not be telling them anything bad." Well,
Bad here.
Mr. Barrington's just getting the rest of the tea. I didn't expect more friends to join us.
I certainly hope we do get more friends.
Oh, same here. That would be lovely.
Indeed,
friends.
it would.
More friends means potentially more patience.
Naldanir is clearly not into the fact that there may be more of these things out there.
So, where are you from?
Naldanir is going to say where she's from, but seeing as it would be in a language that I cannot pronounce, I'm not going to say it.
What do you mean?
It's in, I guess, what would be considered the native tongue of the Feywild.
You're from the Feywild?
You could say that.
My daddy goes there so much. Oh, he's sleeping though. He wouldn't want to join us for tea. You You'll meet him next time you come here.
I guess I will.
Well, we could always try to wake him up, and you could meet him later.
Perhaps later would be nice, because, I'm currently missing a lot of very important me juice.
Ew, that's disgusting.
She points to the blood. This stuff.
Okay, I would like you both to make me wisdom saves.
Alright. Yep.
Hmm.
1d20 plus 2. And that's another single digit number.
You are both. You don't know why. You're both terrified of this little girl.
Yeah,
And
I
as you sit there for a second, both of your visions flash, and this room turns to a destroyed, decapit room. You see blood spewed everywhere, corpses nailed to the wall. You see hanging out of them, their flesh and their organs are pouring out of them, creating these fleshy tendrils that run across the walls and beat with an organ like beat. And you see they come to an end and wrap around other ones that are completely surrounding the room, flesh hanging from the roof and dripping with blood. However, your vision comes back to this small room, and the memory starts to fade a bit of that. So, would you like some tea? And Mr. Barrington comes back over. Thank you. We have some great tea here. It's from the leaves outside from the trees. It's called green tea or something like that. I don't know.
Now Lanier will accept a cup of this quote unquote green tea.
As she pours it into the cup, it's a nice little cracked teacup she hands to you.
The tea
Must
is
be.
brown. Wait, no. The tea is blue.
Wahoo, you? Do you take some?
Yeah, he'll take it.
Alright. As you both drink, make another wisdom save.
If it's green, it must be good for you.
Another 7.
Okay?
12.
Both of you again, the room flashes to that one vision. However, you see multiple tendrils coming down, petting the child, caressing her chin. They come over and they actually touch your shoulders for a second, and you feel this chill run down your spine as you look down at the tea before you drink it, and you see it's red, the color of blood, and there's this small ripple in the water, in the tea. And then your vision flashes back once again to the small room, and your vision and your mind starts to fog once again.
He keeps sipping the tea.
Yeah.
So what if
Since,
it's blood? I'm a goblin.
Since the memory just instantaneously fades like that,
It doesn't
now
fade. It
Lanier.
doesn't fade fast. It just starts to pieces of the memory start to fog up a bit.
Naldonir would, in a way that very clearly shows that this is disturbing, sips the tea whilst trying to maintain eye contact with the thing that she doesn't know if those are real eyes or not.
I want you both to make me constant as you look at her yellow eyes have these bloodshot, the white parts of her eyes are bloodshot red. And as you're drinking this tea, the room distorts again and stops, distorts again and stops. As if it's an old staticky TV. And you see her face now from that point. There are red veins and small bits of these sinews pouring out from the bottom of her eyes and licking upwards and moving around like tendrils. And as she drinks some tea, they go into the tea. You see them pulse.
I'm just imagining Evelyn from
League of Legends.
Resident Evil 7.
Evelyn.
As these things drink, you hear breathing, but not from her throat. And as you look, you see around where the chest down to the stomach would be, there seems to be something moving under her shirt, and it is somewhat unbuttoned. And as you see, there seems to be a mouth under there, a jaw that's sideways.
Well, excuse me, but I ain't looking at the I'm not looking at the chest of a 10-year-old.
No, it's like the entire thing is a mouth, nothing there besides that, and it's very obvious. This is
Well,
not
my con
a
save.
child anymore.
The con save was a 22.
I failed my con save.
Alright, Wahoo. Your goblin blood's nothing. Now Denier.
I got a 14, in case you're wondering.
As your vision fades back once again to this innocent child room, you throw up instantly onto the table.
Do I pass out from this?
Now Denier, your maximum HP is reduced by 20.
Glad that didn't happen to me, because that would be all
Stop
my
kicking
HP.
me in the dick, schmuck. First you lower my constitution, now you lower my max hit points.
Hey. At least you had enough hit points to survive that.
I don't even know how to edit the maximum. Oh wait, no, I think I figured it out. Uh, 42, bringing that down to 22.
As you puke, she looks over at you inquisitively and goes, "Did anyone like the tea?"
It turns out that it's not my thing.
Aww. What's wrong with it? Your vision flashes once again, and you've just puked blood onto this table.
I'm lactose intolerant.
Oh, I see. Barrington uses the special milk called Spice Ant milk that we got from Darath one time. That's probably what it is.
I don't care that I made that up right now. It's Ken.
Now Danier's been quietly shitting her pants every time she eats at the Together house.
He doesn't even wear pants.
She's just been
She's
shitting
a
at
horse.
the table.
Horses shit on the floor. Come on.
She goes, I see. Well, I'm sorry. I've been making this tea since the last people came over and said they'd come back. That they never did, though. You guys will stay for a while, right? You'll stay for the night. Hang out with me.
We certainly could use some rest.
Your
Ow.
vision flashes once again, and you see this child is, there's fleshy tendrils growing out of her back as they slowly go over and they start to caress your heads, and then it flashes back to the room again.
We could use the rest, right? Whatever your name was. As I turn towards the goblin.
Yes.
Woo! Well then, I'll get some rooms made for you. After all, none of my other friends stay the night unless I tell them to. Alright. Well, let me get some rooms arranged. As she takes a little bell that she has right next to her and rings it. You guys hear some footsteps, and walking into the room, you see a maid. As your vision flashes once again, you see this large, fleshy bulb of a gibbering mouther coming in, pulling itself with fleshy tendrils, making its way quickly towards you. Your vision flashes once again, and you're back in the room, and the maid goes, she starts to slowly enter. What would you like, my lady? Well, my friends here said they'll be good to stay the night if we have rooms available. That can be certainly arranged. Oh, good. Vision flashes once again. The gibbering mouther is inches away from your face, Wahoo, staring at you. I need you to make me wisdom save.
Okay.
Sorry, this would be...
17.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say charisma, but yeah, it's wisdom, I'll say that.
It'd be the same bonus.
17?
Either way. Yeah.
You manage to stave off the frightening effect of this creature being within inches of you. As shifts back, both of you make wisdom saves now.
This is a lot of wisdom saves.
21.
At this point, I'll say you have gotten a short rest if you want to use any hit dice.
I keep rolling like shit on these wisdom saves.
Okay. Now, Denier, I'll say your HP is back up.
I'm using both my hit dice. Fuck that.
It's my max is back to previous, or my hit points are back?
Your max is back to previous.
Okay, so I'm back to 42 max hit points.
Yes, and you guys could use your hit dice here if you want. as this scene is taking place.
Huh.
Yeah. While I'm
Restoring
drinking,
max hit points restores hit points. That's weird.
Okay, that's fine. Do you want to add any more with your fucking hit dice?
No, because I just apparently restored 20 hit points.
That's fine.
I'll just leave it like that for now.
And what'd you roll for your wisdom save, Soup?
I got a 10.
Soup. You are terrified of this creature, and you're starting to slowly pulse your hand in and out, as if you're ready for a combat to ensue soon. You're on the edge of losing your sanity at the moment. At this point, you can notice the tendrils are starting to wrap around you and your friend as it's slowly caressing you, and the blood is being left there. And you go back. Wahoo, your vision returns. Soup, you're still stuck in that tendril, bloody space. Wahoo. Well then, go see if we have any more rooms. Alright, lady. And she walks off. Soup, you see the gibbering mouther slowly leaves the room. And the door closes.
Good to know, because I keep failing the whiz saves.
So, how often do people come over for these tea parties?
It's been a few years since the last people. Oh, sorry, I should say, it's been a few days, actually.
Well, perhaps they're just busy, I guess.
But they promised. And she, pouts and kicks her foot against the table, which looks very disturbing to you, by the way, Soup. She kicks the table, and you see it react like a gelatin piece of, almost like brain matter when you poke it with, a stick or something. Like they do in, those shows where they push it, they puncture it with, a piece of metal, and then someone's arm moves. That's what happens when the table's legs moves and then comes back into place. Why can't they come here every day? It's so mean of them. If I ever see them again, I'm going to give them a piece of my mind. And she slams her hand on the table.
I'm going to assume the table vibrates like jello.
Yes.
You go ahead and do that.
I will.
and he starts to wrap bandages around his torso for his broken ribs.
Okay.
Or not, just trying to keep everything.
So how many hit points did you restore, Wahoo?
13.
13, and that was with 2 dice?
Yeah.
Add 2 more HP that you restored.
Okay.
Well, you've been great guests. Hopefully they'll be able to find you a room.
I
At this
certainly
point,
hope
Soup,
so.
you hear from the walls. Death. Join us. Make me a wisdom saving throw, Soup.
Another wisdom save. Finally, I get a nat 20 save.
You literally needed a natural 20, just so you're aware. Just so
Was I
you're
gonna
aware.
was I just gonna go insane and start hitting the walls or something?
Out of character, you were gonna go insane and start attacking anything, the child. Which would've been bad.
Understandable.
So as you're gripping, everything shifts back, and Wahoo, it looks like your friend's getting schizophrenic. They're sweating their whole faces, looking around the room.
I'm sweating buckets like that one scene on the movie Airplane.
Man, you really don't like milk, do you?
It's painful. It's very painful.
Don't don't push yourself too hard. You might give yourself an aneurysm.
I may have already gotten one of those. I don't even know what it is.
So, at this
Well,
point,
you'd likely be unconscious or dead if you had, so.
the maid comes walking back in. We do have 2 rooms available. Or 1, if you both would like to stay together. I can show you to them.
Separate, I think.
Separate, okay. And she stands up and gestures for you to follow her.
Naldonir is going to extremely cautiously follow her because for the past 10 minutes she saw nothing but just complete eldritch horror stuff that only Lovecraft could possibly love, and even then he might not even like it.
Yeah.
Fuck is y'all doing?
We have just talked to the eldritch abomination child again, and I somehow
one?
did not proceed to completely obliterate the room.
I'm just fine.
Because I rolled a nat 20 on my last possible whiz save after I kept rolling 10s.
Intriguing, my friend.
As you guys are led up to the main foyer, you're led through this beautiful looking basement. It's not destroyed. The casks are beautiful. You see a few other doorways. You see a nice steel one that seems to be very guarded and locked. In fact, you see 2 guards in full plate just talking to each other. As you continue through, the maid looks to you, this human maid, with half-elf maid, I'll say, goes, well then, the lady doesn't usually have many visitors stay the night, so we don't really have a lot of guest rooms prepared. But follow me, and she starts to head up the ladder. Actually, she's about to, and she goes, actually, I should not head up the ladder before you all, because, I'm wearing this large skirt.
Those are a bit of a problem.
Make
for me.
her do it.
Oh, you don't like ladders? All right then. And she pulls out a small ring out of her maid dress and goes, well, I could help you then. And she sends one hand to the right, and as she does, all 3 of you start to float into the air.
I wouldn't have needed to climb the ladder to see up there anyway.
Yeah, this whole basement is bright, by the way, I should mention.
Just as a courtesy.
Well then.
So you can be wary of other goblins.
Oh, I see. Well then, let's go up, and she allows you guys to fly up first. As you head out the trap door, you hit the rug, first off. No, I'm joking with you. You don't hit the rug. You do go past as she had moved the rug, and as you get into the main foyer, the trapdoor closes. You see this human man talking with some delegates or some other individuals from the Fae, and yes, we can discuss the payment for the gnomes and their dancing brigade playing "Slow Down, Grab the Wall" at her birthday in 2 years. But sir, the mystical enchanted forest is a long way away, and if they're that's why I said 2 years. You have 2 years. All right, if you say so, my lord. And they start to leave as the maid's leading you up this beautiful staircase. The entire house is well polished and well maintained. And you see the 2 large knight
Lord
statues.
there? Is
What?
the Lord there the same one as the one that was on the statue and in the painting?
Yes. You can see the large statues are of knights, and they're made of this brilliant gold color. The room has more life to it.
I'm gonna ask the maid what year it is.
An odd question.
Well-
I truly do not know. After all, we are still in the Feywild.
That is true.
We travel in and out of the Feywild every so often. But if I remember correctly, it is, if you're asking me about the human world, I've only been there a few times. I usually stay back here and take care of the manor, back here anyways, this side of the manor. I believe it's been 500 years since the creation? Or something like that?
Good to know. What time is it actually when we last remember it being,
So,
the material world?
roll me a history check. Actually, both of you can roll that if you want.
History.
I am proficient.
I actually got an 18.
I got an 8, and I have a +5.
I have a +1.
So, you both realize it's not that hard of you needed a 4 or less to fail.
Ah.
The creation is known as it's an era of its own, probably spanning about 2 million years itself. It is when the world was first created, and then people started to try and figure out what was happening. The end of the creation, a few hundred years after, brought upon its maybe about 10,000 years after, brought about the first God Wars. And then a few more million passed, and then the Second God Wars. That's all you know about this. Not many history texts survived from this time, especially because those pre-Second God Wars, most of those were destroyed as well. This is probably millions of years in the past, if it's actually true.
Funny enough, this is not the furthest back in time a character of mine has
Nope,
gone.
no, it's not.
No, it's not. Because, to any viewer that happens to have made it this far, I had a character go back to before the universe was even created.
Yeah, that was funny. So as you both
Had a character see that, but not go there.
you both have this revelation.
Gods.
As you have this revelation, you're like, huh.
This is a long-ass time ago.
Wait, yeah, Zolo was there before creation, actually. Never mind, she talked to nothing.
Yeah, anyways. As she goes, well then, I believe it's been about 500 years since, well no, actually technically that wouldn't have happened yet. Creation period, no. At this point, Naldonir, with your history check 2, it's about to be the start of the Fey War.
Well,
The one between the Black Fae and the rest of the Feywild.
Yeah. Well, I certainly hope that there isn't, anything dangerous happening anytime soon.
Oh well,
It's,
the Black Fae has awoken and is ready to. Well, he's been discerned and he's been raising an army, so the rest of the Feywild's in a bit of a turmoil, ready to take up arms against him if necessary.
That certainly would be quite a hassle to deal with, wouldn't it?
It would be, yes. Anyways, follow me to your rooms. She starts to head up the staircase.
I'm going to, I guess, as I'm walking, sort of try and get the goblin's ear for a second.
Yes. He whispers.
Nelthing is going to attempt to whisper to him, a war is about to start.
Yes.
Roll me a stealth check.
I certainly hope I don't break the timeline again. Oh, 18.
Total?
Total.
Did you want to help him with this, Wahoo?
Sure.
Oh, no. Should I roll that again?
No.
Well,
If you're helping him, go ahead and roll that again, Soup.
I was gonna say, if you're help. Oh, are you? Is it just doing advantage with help? Or-
Yes, you give him
okay.
the help action.
Yeah, the highest was an 18.
What's your passive perception, Soup?
14?
14? Okay. Seems like she didn't hear you.
Seems like.
Yes.
She definitely heard me.
Yeah.
I knew it.
as she finishes going upstairs, you guys see this beautiful balcony of many portraits and statues and busts upon here, and you see many different large pots of garden materials that seem to be growing these beautiful but strange trees to you, Wahoo, but normal to you. Now, there were a few of them that are old and ancient that are strange. No one really uses anymore. They're ancient fruits that have been since changed by the Feywild itself. But you see papples. Pear apples. As you walk by, the maid goes, feel free to help yourself to a papple if you would like.
She is indeed going to grab some papples. She's going to immediately eat one of them and stuff like 5 or 6 of them in her bag for later
As you eat
because
the
she
one,
loves them.
As you eat the one, go ahead and make me a wisdom save for the papple.
Wisdom save?
Yes.
Come on. Come on.
15.
15? Okay,
Oh,
that beat the
yeah.
threshold. So you see your vision starting to shift in and out, and then you just blink, and it's within the good timeline, where you're holding the papple and you eat it. Go ahead and add to your max HP. You could add 5 max HP permanent.
Is this permanent? This is permanent.
Yes, and eating this papple, you're like, this is not one of the ones from the. This is probably an ancient type of papple, because you know, during the many wars within the Feywild, including the time of the God Wars, a lot of things changed, corrupted, changed in nature. This is when the world was somewhat new, still, like entering its second era, so it was filled with magic and different types of things.
Mm-hmm.
There are written histories remembering when or theorizing the amount of magic that still existed back here, and you realize, holy shit, druids must be powerful back here.
Yeah.
Because this is not arcanic or divine magic. This is
Just pure
natural.
nature.
Yes.
Just pure, unaltered,
This
untainted nature.
wonderful, almost like mango-like sensation. This huge amount of watery in your mouth. Pear-like sensation. But it has the nice. It's not as like crisp and chewy as a pear. It's nice and it is chewy like an apple. It's not as bad to bite through as the apple itself. The pear itself, because a pear has a little bit more resistance when you bite into it. If you haven't noticed that, in my opinion, anyways, and it's nice and chewy.
That's true, but once again, it also depends on the kind of pear.
Yeah.
Apples, I find, tend to be more standard firmness, but pears, they can be tougher, but I've also had pears, especially like the brown ones.
Ugh.
No. There's a specific kind of
Depends
pear
on
that is
what
just
type of
naturally a brown
apple
color,
you're
and those
eating.
are really soft and really, really sweet.
Yeah, I'm going with the standard green pear.
Yeah, green pears are tough.
Yeah, so as you bite into it, it has that natural consistency of an apple, and you're like, It has that watery flavor of the pear, and it's a mixture of both flavors. As you eat
She's
one,
gonna
you're like,
start crying because this is the first time in a long time she's had a papple this good.
Yeah. And you start crying, the maid goes, it's no need to cry, it's just a papple.
This is the best papple I've had in my entire life.
Well then, you must have been eating really shitty papples. After all,
Compared to this,
the good lady isn't that good of a guard. She stops talking for a second, looks around. She isn't that good of a gardener.
regardless of whether she is or not, where I come from, these have lost a good amount of flavor.
Anyways, let's continue. As she shows you to these large 2 rooms down a hallway. These 2 rooms, as you both enter, they're nearly identical. However, one of them is blue in colors painted around it, one of them is red. You see, the blue one has this beautiful... as you look at it, it does have a window to the outside, but then there is this other window that there's this sliding wall that as you push, partition of a wall kind of thing. As you pull it back, actually no, let's have it be awesome. As you look at one of the walls, there seems to be this large rune on it, and as you place your hand, I'll say Naldonir has this rune. Naldonir, as you see this, you touch the rune, and the wall suddenly looks like an ocean. from on its sand bed. You see the glistening light passing through this clear water. You see fish swimming around. Fish that have been extinct for quite a while now. And as you look, you're like, what? And you touch the wall, and your hand goes into an ocean as you pull it back out. And it's soaking wet.
This is not a thing that exists in the future.
No, they exist. One of the fish comes swimming up to the window, or to the wall, and touches it, and it just seems to boop off, and the entire wall ripples.
Yeah, I guess they do exist in the future, but not this, like,
Yeah.
sensationally powerful.
Not these ones, yeah. As you look at it, it's beautiful, and the entire room is dimly lit for you, especially the large chandelier can be turned on to light it up as much as you want. But as you enter, it's dimly lit, and the window seems to have curtains nearly fully pulled upon it. A little bit of light's getting in, but there's this beautiful rippling blue color to the room as you look at it. There's this large bed with 4 posts that go up to this large guardrail made of... Looking at it, it's made of this blue aquamarine metal that conjoins, and then there's these blue aquamarine gemstones embedded into it at the top. You see these wonderful sheets that seem to almost be the sea foam green. And as you're looking at it, dangling from the top banister or whatever that's called, there are these nice felts that seem to wrap around the different posts. As they do, you see that they sparkle and glimmer as if it's in the sea itself. As you look at the bed and go to, like, press on it, it's a waterbed. It's not going to be comfortable.
That's an interesting choice for a bed. Now then you're...
Actually, you know what? I'll say this. It's not a waterbed specifically. It's similar to a waterbed, but it's almost like it's an archonic prison around this small aquarium that you sleep on. And as you press on it, it doesn't just wiggle like if you're pressing on it. It gives this small wave-like pattern. And it's not violent like moving. It's very slowly moving, as if it's almost like a massage chair.
I guess in that case, Naldonir, not really accustomed to, sleeping on water, is going to sort of attempt to sit on it.
As you sit on it, the bed shifts and changes to your size.
That is weird.
The rest
And I
of
guess
the...
she'll...
Yeah. Go ahead.
I guess she'll, bed down for the night.
The rest of the room, by the way, is filled with this large desk with a chair, and the chair doesn't do that. However, the shape of the room, you enter, it's a square, and then there's a small little lip to the left, which is where that wall was. Let's say you're looking north, that's where the bed is, the window, all that stuff. In the south, like the very south of that large square is the door. There's a coat hanger, there's a few other things, a few other hooks on the wall. As you walk in, to the left or to the west is the wall, and then to the south of that little outcropping, the L part, is a closet where you could put stuff in if you wanted to. So I'll say you put some stuff away, and you go back to sleep. Wahoo.
Yes.
As you enter your room, you see the room itself, same shape and design, however it goes to the right this time. You see the bed at the edge, which has this nice red color onto it, almost like this reddish, this dark scarlet red color. You see as you walk in the same things, however the bed's posts themselves are this black cast iron that goes up to the top. And it comes down with these pinkish felts. Embedded into are these scarlet red gems. As you continue to walk in, you see the window headed out is actually stained glass with this small bit of red to it. As you look to the right, you see a rune on the wall in the closet, as well as a desk.
A rune?
Yes, on the wall.
We'll inspect it.
Alright. So as you just touch the rune, the wall dissipates, and you see... Actually, I need to see. Am I going to go with the primordial things here? Or am I going to go with interesting things? Yeah, let's go with the primordial, well, interesting things, and this would be one of the primordial rooms. You see, actually, no, would this be? No, yeah, so, sorry, some of those gems are orangish on there, too, a reddish orange. So are the bed sheets. As you press on the rune, suddenly you see brimstone. You see this city made of... Sorry, no, you see this large castle suspended upon a large lake of fire, liquid fire, lava of different colors. Green, orange, blue, black, white, all melting and melding together into the sea of flame. The castle is this an island that is floating in the middle of the sea of flames. And you see 8 large chains made of different material, seemingly spanning out for hundreds of thousands of miles over this lake of liquid fire. You see this large castle of cast iron and black steel. As you see this, you see different colors, flames spewing from it. And as you look upon it, it's a large town, not just a castle. As you look upon it, you see a battle, a scene. A gigantic man made of just steel plates all interlocking. Actually, no, he wouldn't have those yet. So you see this large man who seems to be sitting in the fire, his celestial wings behind him broken and burnt. You see an Empyrean, burnt, and his flesh starting to spew off as he pulls out a large sword that's melting as it's pulled out. This celestial gold sword melts, and he swings at this even larger demon-looking creature, probably hundreds of feet tall, with wings that expand up to 200 feet in length. Horns the size of a small fucking city. And he just stares down with these eyes of fire as his entire flame spews these 2 large clasped manacles, well, not manacles, but shackles, almost. These wrist-like irons across his wrist. As he goes to swipe down, and this large Empyrean swipes at him, they seem to clash, and this bright light nearly blinds you as you look back in, and you see the Empyrean standing as the large devil is laying down in the ocean of fire, and you see Empyrean. The king of iron, my ass. I'll be taking your town and your title. As he slowly holds his hand out, you see the creature suddenly, its large wrist irons turn into shackles. And he grabs it. As he grabs the shackles, the creature shrinks and he throws it over his shoulder. As he does, you see him slowly start to wade over to one of the large chains, pulls himself up, and starts to walk it towards the city. And the next thing you see, I mean, it's not visions or anything. It's literally just that was happening at the time you were watching this.
Mm-hmm.
So you just see spews of flames like geysers from the sea. You see birds that are on fire flying through the sky. There's this ashy feeling to the atmosphere as you're looking through. It's almost beautiful. And the dim light in here seems to shine a bright orangish red with the mixture of colors from the sea upon the room.
I wonder, is this... And then he reaches a hand at the wall, towards the wall.
Make me con save as you reach your hand in.
Okay. 7.
7?
Yeah.
Your hand catches on fire for a second, you bring it out, you pat it down. You do suffer 2 points of fire damage.
Ouch. Well, I guess it is real.
You see one of the geysers shoots out and a bit of lava comes spewing towards you. You get afraid, and it just bounces off the barrier and falls to the ground. As you realize this is the plane of fire.
It's all very interesting, but he turns and he gets on the bed, but he throws all the bedding off of it besides the pillows.
As you throw the bedding off, you see this beautiful ashen looking like bed. The mattress is made of this firm gray ash-looking material that almost looks like brimstone as well in parts of it. And you're like, this isn't going to be comfy. As you press your hand on it, your hand goes into it like memory foam or like snow. As you push in, and it is probably the most comfortable bed you've ever seen or felt.
And he'll take the pillowcase off the pillow
As you
and
do.
go to bed.
All right. You go to sleep. You both awaken within the sands of Durath. Naldnir, you awoke before, and you got to Pearl Shore with the group. As the goblin awakens, being carried into... Goblin, you awaken to see this beautiful seaside city in this small valley within the desert. You see cobbled streets, a little bit of damage to them from a previous battle. You see, as you're being carried out of the cart, there's this large guardrail that seems to encircle the center of the valley, where you see a large, crystal, beautiful lake in front of you with a small island in it. You see to your left a multitude of large buildings. To your right, a small forest at the edge of the valley with a large portion of buildings as well. As you look backwards, you see this large stone house that seems to dig into the valley's wall itself. And it states...
You see Ohio.
You take 70 points of psychic damage seeing Ohio.
You just see Ohio.
No, don't take me to Ohio.
Not Brazil.
You see a small hanging sign that reads, the waters of Pearl Shore. Experience bliss in a bath in these large dusty lands. And it has this beautiful frilligate on the bottom of it. The rest of the party is walking with you. Sella is nowhere to be seen, or her companions, as the group asks someone to the group leaves their carts as they go to enter this building, and individuals walking up to them in a certain dress wear of sorts. And that's where we end the session.
All right then.
I will say this. Both of you, for surviving that entire session, go ahead and increase your wisdom score, ability scores by 2.
Alright.
All right.
So 15 wisdom now.
Wahoo!
Now I have like plus
Wahoo!
2s and 3s to like everything.
Man, Wahoo, why are your characters saying like the most important things in the story and being like, that's cool?
Because they don't know what it is.
You know about the Sorcerer of the Seven Stones, Cerelius Alera. Now you know about the fucking King and Ahern. Oh my god, the battle of supremacy for the throne of Ahern. Oh my god.
Schmuck, did I keep the papples?
Well, your character, looking in their bag, does have papples, but I need you to... I'm gonna roll really quickly for the... You took 6 papples extra?
Yeah, I took 6 papples in total.
Okay,
I ate the 7th one.
Okay, higher or lower for the first one?
Higher.
So 51 or higher, okay. Okay, that one is its normal color.
Okay. As in, like, after normal color.
Like, it would be the 5x HP, it looks like. However, you don't know if that would work in this time period.
Okay.
Second one, higher or lower?
I'm gonna go for higher with this one as well.
This one has this darkened gray shade to the bottom of it, and it seems to have this blackish top.
Okay.
Third one, go ahead and...
Lower.
Lower? This one's the same as the first one, so it's good. Fourth one?
Lower.
Alright, I rolled, but I didn't look. Lower? You know what? I rolled so high with this, I'm gonna say it's fine. No, you said lower, so I got a 97, that's why I was so excited. So, it's the same as the second one.
Okay.
Fifth one. Higher or lower?
Lower.
Got 2. This one is a bit different than the other ones that you've seen, the good ones. This one has a slight dim glow to it, and even in your state, you could tell this is somewhat magical. It has the same feeling as, like, the Durathian continent, almost. it feels like this one would be similar to the one that you ate.
All right.
6th. Higher or lower?
Higher.
Okay. It's the same as the first and third one.
Okay, so I got 3 that simply grant 5 temp HP.
Well, you don't know if
What?
you don't know if they grant the HP.
Yeah, I don't know if they do it, but I would assume that they probably
By the
could.
way, the papal that you ate in there didn't grant temp HP. It granted you a bonus 5 HP permanently.
Yeah, I modified my sheet for that, so
Okay.
I have 47 max HP now.
Okay. And then you have 3 of those ones, but you don't know if they give the HP. You have
Mhm.
1 that you're pretty damn sure will give you the HP bonus or something good, and then you have 2 that you're not sure what they do. They don't look like papals, you know, anyways.
They don't look like something I know, but perhaps I could probably bring one to, let's say, someone who knows about weird foods from far off lands and be like, hey, I found these recently. Could you perhaps tell me if they, like, exist?
Who knows? Anyways, Wahoo, any questions for you?
No,
Okay.
I don't think I. Oh, actually, he would at some point sort of lean in and whisper to Naldinir,
Uh, I guess we don't get to own the place.
As you
What
say,
place?
now that you remember.
I'm just saying that because it would be funny if it's just no memories of it ever happened.
I'll
But
say
yeah,
this. I'll say this.
that we don't know.
As you say this, you hear a whisper on the wind. Come back and play anytime. As you guys both, suddenly your vision shifts and you see a destroyed landscape with tendrils of flesh wrapping around the many different buildings, many people impaled on these spikes of flesh and blood, and then your vision shifts back once again to the beautiful state of Pearl Shore.
Just saying, I might multi-class into warlock.
Yeah, you could multi-class into Warlock if you wanted to. It would be the Great Old One. Or whatever that is.
Yeah, that would be Gulak. Or at least I would assume that she would be a great old one.
Funny enough, she's a little kid.
I mean, great old ones don't have to be old.
Yeah, true.
They simply need to have an unexplainable power.
Either that or the Archfey, because she is part Fey because of her abilities that are granted for her travels to the Fey world.
Alright.
I'll say you both unlocked that if you wanted to.
I'll be
Alright.
heading down that path.
Alright, Wahoo, by the way, you are level 3 at this point.
Okay.
Because the rest of the party is too.
Can confirm, am level 3.
And make
Well-
sure to put on your sheets that you can go back if you wanted to, you just have to do something. You're not sure.
Okay.
You can go back in your dreams, basically, at this point. You're not sure how you would get back. But you know if you fall asleep, there's a good chance you can go back there. So, what did you guys think of the session? Actually, let me go ahead and say, that's all for this session. It was fun. I don't know how the other people thought of it, but I'll ask them after this. That's really all
Alright.
for the session. Sorry about the first part being missed, but that's kind of beyond me. Do you guys want to say anything to the recording at all before we go?
Yeah, any cursing is entirely my fault. I am sorry if this is ever put on some streaming platform or whatever. If it breaks your TOS, that is completely on me. Do not sue the person who's posted it, which is most definitely not me because I'm not the one recording this.
Well, I mean, I literally cursed like a fuck ton of times in here, so.
I know. But anything that I said that was potentially insulting to the person in charge is to be done in a lighthearted manner. I do not actually mean any of this stuff. The fact that I said he kicked me in the dick when he lowered my max HP, that was a joke.
I do want to mention too that any of the things that you've seen on screen this entire time, like the man with the blue hair and the blue coat and the cool background, he is not any of our characters we've made. We just found this cool image online that was not copyright infringement stuff, so it's fine. And a lot of those things are made by us on a site called Hero Forge or whatnot.
Oh yeah, here, Forge.
We're not good drawers, so a lot of the shit that is up on the scene isn't from us drawing. Anyways, is there anything you want to say, Wahoo?
I think I'm good.
Alright, well, if I post this anywhere else, see ya guys.